Now, which employees must be included in the report? The employer must include all employees assigned to a California establishment and or working within California. So this is a little different than in the prior years for the pay data report, where employers would not report employees who were working outside of California and are assigned to establishment outside of California. In the past, you had to report on them, but now they're working outside of California and they're not assigned to an establishment in California. They're not part of this pay data report. Their data is not reported to the state of California. Now, a question comes up quite a bit of who's assigned to an establishment in California, and I've got an example here. So if an employer has a single establishment in Riverside, California, with 500 employees working from that location, and the employer would submit a report covering all 500 employees. This is even if 25 of these employees were working remotely in California or even outside of California, the employer would still, the report would still need to cover all 500 employees because those working outside of California are still assigned to work at this one location within California. Now, the second type of report that I mentioned is this labor contractor employee report. This is a new requirement here starting in 2023, and it's required to be filed by employers that have 100 or more workers hired through labor contractors in the prior calendar year, anywhere with at least one worker based in California. So it's a new requirement. And this, don't get confused with the employee, the payroll employee report. It's a separate standard. So even though if an employer doesn't have enough employees to require filing an employee payroll report, you could still be required to file this labor contractor employee report if you meet the standard set out on this slide. Now, labor contractor, the question comes up, what is that? And I've got the definition set out here on this slide, but basically any kind of staffing agency or anybody else you're contracting labor from would be considered a labor contractor for this report. And similar to the employee payroll employee report, the labor contractor employee reports would include part-time labor contractor employees to come up with that 100 or more threshold that I just mentioned. And you have to include any labor contractor employees paid on paid or unpaid leave as well in making that determination if you have 100 or more.